Dr. Deborah here again, your relationship, how to love expert. We are living in a time that is really no different than any other time in the history of these United States of America. We are living in an ever-racial, hyper-racial environment. I want to talk about how to love in a hyper-racial environment. Stay with me on this. So, how to love in a hyper-racial environment. Whew, that is something to absorb, I know, because you hear post-racial, you hear racial. I think is hyper. It's on steroids, because everybody, whether they call themselves white or they identify as black or brown or any other color in the human rainbow, the black and the white situation in our country has been for, let's just say, at least 400 years, in this country, and 500 years in the entire world, a big deal. How does one love? And I'm talking to anyone who identifies as a human being in the United States. I'm talking to those of us who consider ourselves good citizens and good people. Those are the people I'm talking to. And if that fits you, then you're listening to me at the right time in your life. Now, we purport to be a Christian nation, and we know that what's happening right now and what's happening in our churches, black or white, is not quite living up to the hype of let's just say Jesus the Christ, who is Jesus the Anointed, Jesus of Nazareth, the person on whom the church claims to be built upon, the rock of his word. And what I've done is taken a closer look at his life and compared him to, and basically have identified him in my understanding as the ultimate postmodern psychotherapist, the ultimate postmodern, non-traditional healer of the soul. Because when he was here, whatever name you want to call him by, Pan-Africans, whatever origin you want to give this person, the identity, the embodiment of what it means to love and love someone unconditionally and to accept people just where they are, just as I am, radically. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it means to love in this climate. So what does that look like as I talk about how to love in this climate? We're going to begin with self-reflection, and then we'll talk about radical acceptance. So, I said that we were going to talk about it in two different ways. The first way is self-reflection. Now, that's a psychotherapeutic term, at least I've been taught. That's in the tradition of my practice. Self-reflection is one of the things that a good, and I say effective psychotherapist has the ability to do. And that is, you look at yourself in the mirror, you hear yourself when you talk, you consider yourself as you deal with other people, and you wonder, am I coming clean with what my ideas and my thoughts and my feelings are as I listen to these people, primarily our clients. But what I've done is to take those postures, that way of being outside of the therapeutic room, and put it into the world of Christendom, into the world of any other kind of community where what we want to do is show love. So the first way you can show someone that you truly love them is that you examine yourself. Basically, you don't point the finger at what they're doing that is not right, or what they're doing that is upsetting you. You think about, what are you doing to upset them? You think about what it is that you're thinking that's getting in the way of your being a better mom, dad, neighbor, countryman, whatever it is that you're doing, you don't think about them, you think about you. And once you give yourself that kind of examination, self-examination, self-reflection, it's not superficial, it's deep. It is, you go in and you say, oh man, I'm guilty of that. Oh man, I'm doing that. Oh man, I heard what I just thought. Oh man, you do that. That is how you self-reflect. And what comes out of that sincere self-reflection is a person who changes his behavior so that he can stay connected to his neighbor, his spouse, his child, his co-worker, his supervisor, her boyfriend, her best friend. That's what self-reflection leads. That's where it leads. However, before I move to acceptance, let me define my definition of what love is.